Hey rugby fans, welcome back to my channel. Now my name is Ralph and welcome back to Rugby Fanatic. Now today's video, we're diving into one of the most heated debate in New Zealand rugby right now, the eligibility rule changes. I've already covered this topic. I did a video last year, talking about, the current policies in New Zealand and how Scott Robertson was going to look, aboard and look over, for players overseas. And, just to, get Richie Moana back. To the All Blacks, but unfortunately they were trying to this year, but failed to do so. So, it didn't go according to plan. So then New Zealand rugby has moved on. You probably remember my thoughts that we should, stick to the current policies here in New Zealand. And also the idea of converting Moana, Pasifika, Kyren, Taumoefolau into an All Black. Interesting. To say this is a hot topic would be an understatement. For someone like myself and for you guys who are passionate about the game and also the integrity of the sport, to be honest, I'm not buying into this, new wave of, eligibility flexing. And here's why. First, let's break it down. I mean, Taumoefolau, a talented player, he's on form, for Moana Pasifika and the Super Rugby Pacific. And, he's making waves, and this player's already represented Tonga. He's played for Tonga in the Sevens and also, in the Rugby World Cup in 2023. And, says that he'll be open to switching back to New Zealand rugby if opportunity arises. And sure, it sounds nice. It sounds great. Sounds great. I mean, if he wants to, that's his choice. But, it's a great idea for him to play for All Blacks and, and put on that jersey. It's tempting for many of us fans. And I get it. He's a phenomenal player. Like I said, he's thriving in the Super Rugby. But here's where I draw the line. Taumoefolau plays for Tonga, and he's made that commitment. And I'm a huge supporter for smaller nations, and we've seen the heartbreaking trend of talent, leaving these teams for top-tier nations. And the whole purpose of World Rugby's eligibility rule change was to help prevent exactly that. And it's about giving players the chance to represent their heritage and their culture, and also their people as well. And if players like Taumoefolau start switching, sides as easily as someone, or some of us suggesting, what happens to that integrity? The very thing that makes rugby a game of pride and tradition, that's the question. Look, I'm not saying we shouldn't encourage players to follow their dreams. But what about the players who stay loyal, to their countries? The players who choose to represent, their smaller nations, knowing that they might never play on the biggest stage. If we're going to talk about change in eligibility, we need to be mindful of the bigger picture, of the consequences. And, this really, really frustrates me. I'm frustrated by, the growing talk about, expanding the All Blacks, selection pool to include any player from Super Rugby Pacific, no matter their nationality. Sure, Mills Muliaina has a point, from the breakdown. That could be, that could be great. That could be an option. It could bring more, star power. That's what he said to the competition. That's what, that's the opinion from Mills Muliaina. Honestly. But at what cost? What cost? If we open the floodgates all over the world, aren't we just, watering down the very essence of what it means to represent New Zealand? And honestly, this feels like a shortcut, a way to sidestep building from within, from developing players who bleed black and, and truly have that New Zealand rugby heart. But if we start raiding other countries for their talent, And what happens to our own systems? What happens to the local guys coming up through the ranks, putting in the hard yards for their spot in the All Blacks? We can't just keep taking from other nations and expect our own rugby systems, to thrive. We need to invest in our talent and develop the game and also our players. And I get it, the allure of winning, the pressure to succeed on the world stage, but we can't lose sight of the bigger picture here. And let's be clear, this isn't just about Taumoefolau. This is about the future of, rugby in New Zealand, and how we treat the countries we're in direct competition. And, if we're constantly drawing, from the smaller nations, how does that help their development? How does that help, rising talent? I don't know. I don't get it. So at the end of the day, I firmly believe that Kyren Taumoefolau should stick with Tonga. He's already made that choice, and if he decides to play for the All Blacks, so be it. That's his choice. But he's already representing Tonga. He's committed to Tonga, as I mentioned, because, he made that choice, like I said, and it means something. It's bigger than just rugby. It's about loyalty. It's about heritage. About giving back to the game and the country, that helped shape him. And it's about going back to his roots. And if he switched to New Zealand, what would they say to every player who forgets to represent Tonga at the highest, level? That's the question. Rugby's more than just talent. It's about values, and those values run deep in the fabric of our sport. And right now, I think we're on the brink of losing that, to be honest. Let's not go down that road, folks. The game is bigger than any one player, and we need to keep that in mind, and we need to start talking about eligibility and who's allowed to play where. But that's, my opinion. Each to their own. You guys will come up with your own opinion about this subject, but it's a very heated discussion. But it's a tough situation, no doubt. It's a tough situation. But I think it's crucial we stay true to, we just stay true to the spirit of the game. Simple. Stay true to the spirit of the game. And, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But let me know your thoughts. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with the changes, or do you think we're about to cross a line that we won't be able to uncross? So let's have that conversation, because this debate is only going to get bigger from here. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and keep supporting your teams and keep the rugby spirit alive. And we will see you in the next video.